Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dragon's Library. So today we have a bit of a short review because I don't want to drag this out too much. So today we are reviewing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, although mostly just Violet because that's the version I got. So we've got another Pokemon game, and as you might have heard, the internet has thoroughly tossed it into the garbage over its various problems. Originally I was going to join them and make this basically just another ranting review, but decided to give it a fair shot and talk about some of its other qualities because I just did the Avatar Way of Water review. I've been kind of feeling burned out with a lot of negative thoughts and negative reviews. And I don't do this to talk about things I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy trashing stuff. And I mostly do this because I like watching and reading and playing lots of interesting forms of media and talking about them. And recently I've been feeling like I've just gotten nothing but negative stuff to say. And it's kind of bumming me out more than I usually want to be bummed out. I mean, I read Babel on Ordinary Monsters. I enjoy being bummed out for fun, but, not like this. So, let's get into it. Now, I don't think I need to explain Pokemon in 2022. New region, new professor, new rival. Let's get started on this. Starting with the good bits, I actually had a fun time with Pokemon Violet. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I had a fun time with it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Pokemon game by any stretch of the imagination. For reference, that would either be Platinum, Gale of Darkness, or Legends Arceus. But I did think it tried to take the game in a new direction. Specifically, it tried to build off Legends Arceus, taking the open level-based gameplay into a full-on open sandbox gameplay from Arceus, and building that into a full open world. Right from the start, after your intro and tutorial, which, for the record, does still drag out way too long, Pokemon, give us the option to skip the tutorial. Your games are pretty simple and you've had them out for a while. You can head out into any part of the region and immediately challenge a gym, search for special Pokemon, or go fight the new evil gang. For the reference, is Team Star this time. Yeah, I know they kind of already did that with Team Galactic, but we're moving on from there. Despite everyone's complaints, I really liked this feature. The first thing I did was go out and grab a full team of Pokemon I felt could be useful throughout the whole game. I even had the Dragon-type Gible before I even got the second badge, which is really important because in earlier Pokemon games, you often were bombarded by weaker and less useful Pokemon you had to catch before you had a proper party for earlier gym battles. So basically you were required to catch 3 or 4 Pokemon that you knew you were going to swap out the second you got a later Pokemon that was obviously better, or that fit your team composition better, because you just need extra bodies for the gym. Or maybe you need a specific element earlier, but you don't want that one long term. In this game, however, you can build a balanced team of both main and reservists early on and have that be your main Pokemon for the entire game, using them without being required to switch out for more powerful ones later on. I personally like this more than the old system, though I will qualify it with the fact that you can't really do the gyms out of order because the player's team level isn't what scales Pokemon levels. They're still scaled to the area, and as a result, both the wild Pokemon and gym leaders in the later areas will absolutely stomp you. So you sort of have to do with a pseudo-right order, and if you do them out of order, or out of the leveled order, you're going to start stomping through those areas, or having a lot of difficulty. But in the early game, you have a decent amount of areas to choose from without it being too much of a problem. However, this does start to bring me to some of the problems with Pokemon Violet, and I do want to talk about them because I don't think it's fair to give this game unqualified praise. It feels like a game with a lot of good ideas that was rushed out before it was finished. There's lots of glitches, slowdowns, it's horribly optimized, and it doesn't even look as good as games that came out years ago on the Switch. Breath of the Wild is the obvious comparison. That game looks and runs way better than this game, and there's basically no excuse for it other than the lack of time and effort in presentation. The game suffers from severe frame rate issues, and the graphics are really bad. The internet is not wrong for roasting this. Characters will pop in and out of existence, and even all of these cuts, all of these problems, the frame rate still chugs randomly. It's just complete BS. Even the cutscenes have background characters with 4 frames of animation, and it's just distracting. There are moments where the game tries to show off its graphics too. After you first go through the tutorial, you go up this tower and look out over the view. I'm not sure if I'll have a clip of it or not because I lost some of my footage when I was putting it all together. But you look out down, there's a Pokemon Center with a little sign rotating. And when you're up close, the sign rotates at a regular pace, so it's a nice smooth animation, or as smooth as this game has. But when you're looking for the tower, it's suddenly jerking stoop, doop, And it's really distracting. Like, you can't help but notice it. There are smaller things, too, like the grass in the area around you will fade in and out if it's not within, like, a few meters of you. And it looks like you're wandering through, like, a dimly lit cave, and you're only illuminating the area directly around you. But you're outside in the sun, and everything else that's not immediately around you is just stuttering like crazy. Even in some of the pre-rendered areas, all in all, it's just not great. Moving on to the conclusion, I've tried to restrain a lot of my more negative opinions of the show, because I did have a good time on a gameplay level. And Pokemon is always fun, it's lively, the characters are almost dumbly happy and cheerful, and it's my childhood. I'm just gonna say, I love Pokemon, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I don't want to just repeat what every other person online has said about the game and the series. And I really don't hate Pokemon Violet. I think the gameplay, graphics removed, builds on many of the excellent ideas they've tried in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I'm glad they've tried to take in that direction. But Pokemon, and Game Freak specifically, refuses to take their time and release games less frequently to improve the quality. I think Game Freak had taken another year to test and optimize this game, it would have blown people's expectations out of the water. Because it's kind of what we've been asking for years. An open world, do it in the order sort of, roaming Pokemon, interactive with trainers, not forced battles. It's a lot of the things we've been asking for. But that is the problem. Game Freak has tried to give us everything we've asked for without slowing down the development time and giving their designers time to actually finish the project correctly. This is the highest grossing franchise on Earth. You can look that up. They can afford to hire more people or take a bit more time. So in the end, despite how much I love this series, how much I actually had a bit of fun with the game, I have to give this 6 out of 10. I really don't know what else I can say other than I was happy but disappointed. I hope they can do better next time, but I'm not holding my breath. So with all that out of the way, let's move on to the announcements, and there are a few here. I'm sorry my updates have been very infrequent. Holiday season is a lot. Work is a lot. I got a new tablet, so I had to set that up. I have some things coming, so I've actually been having to work on my setup, my computer. I've just been really busy, and I've been trying to get some new assets made for the the end of the year lists. I'm really sorry about this. I've just been very distracted, very tired, and I've been feeling a little down with a lot of negative reviews, so I'm not going to be reviewing the Callisto Protocol. I know I've been saying I'm reviewing it a lot, I've been streaming it. I just did not have a good time with that game. I had to keep forcing myself to keep playing. I kept cutting the stream early, like an hour and a half or 2 hours in. And I don't know, I just was not having fun. And I don't do this for work or as a job. This is mostly something I do in my relaxing time just to have fun. So I thought you guys deserved an answer on that because I've been putting off a lot of stuff. I've been trying to get myself through the Callisto Protocol, but I just can't. And I need to be able to have fun with this in order to keep going. So I'm hoping with New Year coming, I can get myself back on track. I can go back to normal. And to start that off, I'm going to start with something positive. My favorite things from 2022. Now, I did a little community post sort of talking about this, but I want to tell you guys what to expect. So next week, I'm going to try and get 4 videos out. They're going to be shorter, like 5-6 minutes. Hopefully I can restrain myself. And they're going to be going over the best movies, shows, games, and books of 2022. The criteria will be things I've reviewed now to win. Now, the top thing will be talked about most. However, I will do a brief, like 1 or 2 sentences on a few runner-up candidates, explain why they weren't the winner or why I didn't review them. Because I am going to mention a few honorable mentions I didn't have time or energy to review or just thought other people had a better take on. And this is kind of set the example for how I want to do end of the year lists. So it's basically just going to be my 4 main and then a few honorable mentions attached to each one. Each of those are going to have their own video. I'm working on a new thumbnail and background art for it. So hopefully I will be able to do that all and get that all out properly. It's been a wild time, and I want to keep going with this because I really do have a lot of fun making this stuff and talking about all this. Thank you to everyone who's listened. This has been like my first full year of doing it, and it's been a roller coaster, but it's been a lot of fun. In addition to that, I will also hopefully be doing a future more like post in my community thing. I want to try and start using that. So I'm going to start listing out different things I'm interested in at the beginning of the month. I'm not sure if I'm going to have that ready for January or February, but I want to start doing that with like books and games and stuff, just to give people an idea of like what might be coming up and, you know, tell people what I'm interested in so maybe they can give me suggestions. I had a suggestion from somebody who listened to that Kaiju book review, who gave me an idea from someone else there, and I still need to read that weird Bigfoot horror movie thing. I'm interested in that. Anyway, I've eaten up like 2 minutes of the time at this announcement, so I think that's going to be about it. Look forward to all that coming soon, and also next week I should be starting my stream of High on Life, or next week. The week after. Next week or the week after. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been great this year. See you guys next year. Bye. Hope you enjoyed the video. On your screen, you should be seeing a link to my channel. You go there and subscribe, that'd be great. In addition, you'll be seeing 2 other links. One's to my Season 2 playlist, that's all the videos from 2022. In addition, below that, you should be seeing a link to a video that YouTube apparently recommends you click on. So, you know, why not click on it? See one of my other videos. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe it'll have something else you'll enjoy. Maybe YouTube doesn't know shit. We'll find out together.